Hello, this is Spellbinder with this update on the S.510. It looks like they screwed up in the Senate. They put a provision in there to collect fees. Well, when it got to Congress, they're saying, hey, wait, that's considered under Constitution to be a tax collection. You're not allowed to do that, the Senate. You see, Congress is the only one allowed to produce taxes. And the Senate tried to put this little thing in there to collect these fees, and when they did that, it became a constitutionality and it became blue chipped out. They're sending it back to the Senate saying, hey, you're going to have to take this now and rewrite it and re-argue it and re-vote on it. And there's some Republicans who were scoundrels that voted for it, said this time they're not going to vote for it, even if they do fix it. So it looks like we have a win-win situation coming out of this. It's not going to get passed. They won't be able to combine it with the one in the House of Representatives, which when they put all these together, it was going to make this other bill. I guess it was 875, 829, something like that. That were already took everything away from having a home garden and everything, and these were just going to give the police force behind it to police it, which was going to be part of Homeland Security. Was going to be part of this, and they're going to have to fund $1.4 billion for it. Well, first thing I got up is, well, I got this little video here that I'm going to show, where it shows that they are criminals in the Senate. I mean, the guy says on a hot mic at C-SPAN, discussed the Senate floor, it's all rigged. Everything is rigged. And this is it.
There's nothing about it because it's all rigged. I mean, the whole conversation is rigged. The fact that we don't get to a discussion before the break about what we're going to do in the lame duck, it's just rigged. This stuff's rigged.
There you go. It's all rigged. Everything in the Senate is rigged. We rigged this whole thing. Yeah, they rigged it all because they're lame ducks. And they're mad, and they want to pass a bunch of draconian communist type things just to destroy America the rest of the way. They're trying to get lost involved is what it is, and that's where this article comes in at. And I'm going to go to this article, which just explains it right here. Here it is. Rigged food safety bill may die in House. It looks like the draconian FDA Food Safety Modernization Act may be killed in the House, according to Roll Call, a newspaper covering Capitol Hill. Corporate media spins the bill. The food bill, safety bill that has burned up precious days in the Senate lame duck session appears headed back to the chamber because Democrats violated the constitutional provisions requiring the tax provision originate in the House, writes John Staton for the newspaper. Constitutional violations are now de rigueur in Congress. And November 30th, infowars.com reported a comment made by a Colorado Senator, Michael Bennet, who said that the process is rigged. It's all rigged. The whole conversation is rigged, says Bennett over an open C mic during a debate in the floor of the Food Safety Act. The fact that we don't get a discussion before the break about what we're going to do in the lame duck, it's just rigged. Well, this is pretty wild. It says the Senate passed a bill yesterday and sent it to the House. The House of Representatives approved a different version of the food safety bill in 2009, Prevent Disease. Reports today, however, the sponsor of the bill, Iowa Democrat Senator Tom Harkin, said the House has agreed to adopt Senate version, bypassing the need for a conference to integrate the two bills. House Democrats plan to blue slip the bill because it violates the Constitution. Section 107 of the bill includes a set of fees that are classified as revenue raisers, which are technically taxes under the Constitution, and according to the House GOP leader aide, that section has ruffled the feathers of Ways and Means Committee Democrats who are expected to use the blue slip process to block completion of the bill, Roll Call reports today. If the blue slip current lame duck Congress Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid may drop the issue and let the next session of Congress start from scratch. On the other hand, Reid could try to force the issue in the Senate after the House passes the new version of the bill, but in order to do that and still tackle the other issues before the Senate, he would need a unanimous consent agreement to limit debate. Glenn Beck covered the food bill in early 2009. The GOP Senate aides are unanimous consent agreed that it will likely be a non-starter because the chief component to the bill, Oklahoma Republican Senator Tom Coburn, will not agree to a deal. We understand that there is a blue slip problem, and we expect the House to assert its right under the Constitution to be the place where revenue bills begin, said the GOP aide. So they actually did something they weren't allowed to do, which was put a tax in it. The passage of the bill would be a major victory. If the passage of the bill would have been a major victory for the elite and transnational corporations, the world corporations and multinationals, it would end United States sovereignty over its own food supply. In other words, we'd have no more control over our food. It would be under the maritime laws, which is under LOST, the law of the sea treaty, by mandating compliance with the World Trade Organization, another anti-American organization, and thus endanger national security. In addition, the bill would allow the government under maritime law, which maritime law is really, if you read up maritime law, this is where LOST came from, or the law of the sea treaty, to define the introduction of any food into the commerce, including direct food sales between private individuals, as smuggling. That's right, you wouldn't be able to take your extra corn and tomatoes and go and sell them because you'd be considered a smuggler. I dealt with that earlier on a video. It would also impose Codex Alimentarius on the United States. Codex Alimentarius is one of the major bodies behind the effort to limit access to nutritional products and information. So you wouldn't be able to treat yourself for illnesses either. And this is another one, the America's Watchtower. Says the House may send S.510 back to the Senate on constitutional grounds. That's done by Stephen Dennis. The other one was a Infowars article. And this one here is, yesterday the Senate passed S.510, the Food Safety Modernization Act, and it seems as if this bill was destined to become law. All that was left to send this bill to the President was to reconcile the Senate and House versions of this bill. On the surface, this bill seemed benevolent enough. After all, who doesn't want to ensure safety of food they will be eating? But once you delve into the bill, you find that there are some very troubling issues related to this bill, which you can read in one of my previous posts here, or you can watch my previous video, which I cover what's wrong with the 10 lies about that bill, which is basically they're not protecting the food, they're just controlling your consumption of food and only taking it from the major corporate factory farms, which will be allowed to grow GMO foods without question from the people, and you'll be starting to get stuff that they won't even have to tell you it's GMO, and you start getting sick and dying. Well, you'd figure it out then, but it'd be too late. That's why I told the senators and Congress critters when I wrote a letter to them, emailed it through downsize.org, that they should make the scientists eat this stuff they create for a year before it gets tested on the people or the citizens. Let's see, Section 107 of the bill includes a set of fees that are classified as revenue raisers, which are technically taxes under the Constitution. The problem is that the Constitution requires all revenue bills originate in the House of Representatives, not in the Senate, and the House of Representatives appears ready to block this bill on constitutional grounds. If the House asserts its power over the revenue bills and sends this bill back to the Senate, there is a very real possibility that the bill will be stalled until new Congress is sworn in. This could be the death knells of the Food Safety Modernization Act, because it will leave Harry Reid in the current Senate with only two options. The Senate Majority Leader, Harry Reid, could simply drop the issue and let the next session of Congress start from scratch, or he could try to force the issue in the Senate after the House passes a new version of the bill. Either way, it takes up too much time, and their lame duck session will be gone, and the Republicans will be in charge, and they're not going to go along with this, so at least as far as we know yet. If he were to choose the second option, it would take valuable time away from the Senate to debate on other more pressing socialist issues that should be addressed during the current Congressman. Therefore, the Bush tax cuts, which they wanted to do that, but they want to do it for their reason, not for our reason. If Harry Reid wants to debate this bill and other more pressing bills, he would need to use unanimous consent to limit debate of this bill, and it's very unlikely he will be able to convince the Republicans in the Senate to agree to limit debate on this issue. So Harry Reid has a choice to make. Does he feel the food safety bill is of enough importance that the Senate should forsake the other issues facing Congress, or does he sacrifice the other issues in order to press the food safety bill? If the House sends this bill back to the Senate, I have to believe that Harry Reid will drop it and move on. It would be a political suicide not to address the issues that the American people care much more deeply about than this little-known bill. So we may go ahead and get our tax savings put back in, renew it for another year, instead of pressing this draconian bill. All eyes are on the House, and in my opinion, they cannot concede their constitutional authority to the Senate, and the founders felt that it was the utmost important that the branch of governments most chose these people should be the branch of government that decide how the people spent their dollars. To surrender this authority on the bill that was snuck through the Congress before the American people had a chance even to learn about this bill would be a travesty. The bill should be delayed until a new Congress is convened and the American people have had the opportunity to read the bill. We have seen what happens when bills are not read before they become law. The results are less than stellar. The Congress cannot afford to make the same mistake again. So there you go. We won. We won the battle this time. It appears that we won. For once, we finally got something done and stopped the lame duck session from putting something in that gave up our sovereignty of our food and would basically put Codex Alimentarius into power, which means our supplements would be gone. We still got to fight against that because we still got a rhino and the Republicans, senator from Arizona, who's pushing through a bill for supplement control. And if you read all this stuff they want to do, it makes vitamins ineffective. They'll make them so when you take them, they won't do anything for you. So why even take them? That's what they want. They want you to be sick. They want you to go to hospitals. They want you to buy prescriptions because they're making money. And they can't make money unless you are buying prescriptions. These people care more about the pocketbook of their own pockets than they do of your rights, your health, and your freedoms. And it's just wrong. And I'm not very sure what they're going to do about it. I mean, McCain wants his bill to be passed about vitamins. The supplement bill that he's trying to push through. That's what I try to think of from Arizona. McCain. I don't know why he wants to do that. He must really hate the American people to make them sick. I guess he has his money invested in the pharmaceutical companies. That's the only reason anyone would be backing something as draconian as that. Oh well, till next time, this is Spellbinder saying, be good at it. Let's keep the fight going. Maybe we can actually win back the country and stop this and get our Constitution back in order and working order and have our government follow it. Until then, be good at it. Good day.